Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie RRR, released in the year 2022. The movie opens in India, a country of around 390 million people, being ruled by England through the East India Company. We focus on a small tribal community, Gond, somewhere in the Adilabad forest, where Governor Scott Buxton is hunting while his wife amuses herself. One of the local girls sings a pretty song for the governor's wife and also draws an intricate henna design on her hand. The governor's wife is so charmed by the little girl that she tells her husband that she wants to keep her. Buxton, following the golden paradigm of a happy wife and a happy life, agrees, and his assistant tosses 2 coins at the girl's parents, who mistake it as a gift of appreciation for their daughter. They are not prepared for what comes next, when the governor's car pulls up and Catherine Buxton leads the girl inside it. Her parents, confused and baffled, run after them, begging them not to take their daughter. The mother bangs on the window of the car, pleading for her daughter's freedom, but the Mem Sahiba does not give her any mind. As the car begins to move forward, the girl's mother throws herself in front of it, determined to keep her daughter with her. The guard is about to shoot her when an officer points out that bullets are too precious to be wasted on uncivilized scum, and so the guard swings a big piece of wood, bashing her onto the head, and the woman falls down dead. And so the governor's party is on its way back with their newly bought mantelpiece. The scene shifts to the outskirts of Delhi, where there is a joint protest going on due to the capture of Lala Lajpat Rai, an Indian freedom fighter. The protest consists of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians, all of them united against the British-ruled police. They're protesting for the release of Lajpat Rai and for the British to leave. The English DSP is in a frenzy at the mob surrounding the police station. During this, a protester throws a stone, which shatters a framed picture of the British governor. The DSP orders that man be arrested and brought to him. And so an ambitious and loyal police officer, A. Rama Raju, walks into the crowd of thousands to carry out his superior's order, showing his bravery and loyalty. The mob immediately seizes him, but he's undeterred, fighting back and continuing further in. The people hit him and try to overwhelm him, but Rama single-handedly fights those who dare attack him. The Sikh man realizes that the officer is going to get him and makes a run for it. But Rama goes after him, fighting off the people and all the obstacles, and eventually manages to get a hold of the Sikh man who had committed the offense, dragging him back to the police. The officers are stunned at his actions and courage, watching as Rama does not stop for rest, but after splashing some water on his face, repositions himself in front of the crowd with an intimidating stance. This works wonders on the crowd, and they eventually break up. We then see a ceremony going on, where Rama is expected to be promoted and given recognition, but he gets nothing. All the accolades are awarded to the British officers. This unfairness triggers Rama, who is then shown beating the crap out of a punching bag in his rage. The scene then shifts to Scott's manager, who is visited by a Nizam, acting as a representative of the Gond villagers. He humbly asks the guy to return the girl they took from their village. They're peaceful people and just want their family member back. But he is blatantly refused. The Nizam replies that the people of Gond are like a herd of sheep, and they have a shepherd who protects their family from external threats. If a single sheep goes astray, they are lost, and the shepherd is brave enough to even go after the tiger who has stolen the sheep, and will not hesitate to kill it. This serves as an introduction to Bhim, our second main character. Bhim is seen in his naked, muscular glory, upturning some blood on himself to draw out a wolf he is searching for. But while he succeeds in attracting the wolf towards him, a tiger is also drawn out and gives chase. Bhim faces the tiger and leads it into his trap. But the trap had been meant for a wolf, and is not strong enough to bear a tiger's strength. Bhim has to grab the ropes that are holding the net in place, and with his bare 2 hands, pushes the tiger back long enough to throw sleeping gas at it. After the tiger passes out, he kneels in front of it and apologizes, saying that he is using it for a great need. Bhim has been preparing to go save Mali from the clutches of her captors, and has been living in Delhi for 6 months. He has taken on the name of a Muslim, Akhtar, and resides in the city with a poor Muslim family. During the day, he works at the garage owned by the family as part of his disguise, while going off on hunting expeditions for reasons we will soon find out. That day, a British officer wheels his bike to the shop, complaining that it still won't start after being repaired, thinking that they have done a poor job. Beam goes to investigate and discovers that the reserve was on and revs up the bike. This makes the officer's lady friend giggle. This embarrasses the British officer, and he beats Beam to re-establish his testosterone as superior. Meanwhile, Governor Scott has been informed of a hunter being sent to Delhi to recover the girl, and they task the Imperial Police to find him. But when they ask for a criminal record or information about the man, there is nothing there. Everyone wonders how they are supposed to find a man in Delhi without even any identification features. Catherine, who is also there, takes charge and announces that whoever brings this warrior to them will be promoted to special officer, and Rama, who had been waiting for precisely such an opportunity, jumps at the chance. He asks if he's required to bring the hunter alive or dead. Catherine tells him that if the man is brought to them alive, Rama will get a promotion. Otherwise, if brought in dead, he will get a bounty. And so begins Rama's quest to track down the hunter without any leads. He works with his uncle to find out where revolutionaries hold their meetings and decides to look there. There, he speaks up about the governor's cruelty in taking a girl from a tribe, which catches the attention of Lachu, who is Beam's friend. Lachu is shown to be very gullible, and he approaches Rama, hoping to induct him into Beam's rescue plan. Rama goes along with him, but at a checkpost, a guy salutes at Rama, and Lachu runs away, realizing that Rama is in the police. Rama gives chase, but soon loses Lachu in the crowd. He ends up on a bridge. The crossing train catches fire, and there's a blast. The blast traps a young fisher boy who had been fishing for Beam. Both men notice the kid, and Rama signals the crowd for help. Beam picks up his signal and rushes. There is no time to talk, and Rama communicates with Beam through gestures, and Beam understands them perfectly, showing how in sync they are. They work together to save the boy in a series of risky, over-the-top, and highly entertaining maneuvers, gaining respect for each other, and a friendship is struck. Over the weeks, Beam and Rama spend most of their free time together, laughing, sharing meals, and getting up to antics, and their bond becomes like that of brothers. But all the while, both of them are on their separate missions, unaware of each other's identities. Rama even helps Beam talk to Governor Scott's niece, Jenny, thinking that his friend is infatuated, but Beam had been looking to talk to her in order to gain access into the governor's house. He gets his chance when she invites him over one day, and he wanders off to find Molly, promising to come back for her. We also see Rama gazing at a pendant from time to time, and see a girl named Sita doing the same at a far-off village. The villagers come to her and ask her if she has heard from Rama. It has been 4 years since he left with a promise of revenge, and they're losing hope. But Sita believes in Rama's cause and trusts him. In Delhi, Rama eventually catches Lachu and tries to make him talk. While in captivity, Lachu sets loose a banded crate at him, which bites Rama. Lachu tells him that even the British don't have a cure for it, leaving Rama only an hour or so to live. Rama rushes to Beam, who has been conspiring with his men to storm the governor's residence during a party being held that night. Beam, noticing Rama, immediately rushes into action and prepares an antidote. During this, Rama notices Beam kneeling to a Hindu idol and realizes that he is not a Muslim. Later, Beam deposits Rama on a bed and comes clean about everything. He tells Rama that he wanted to ask for his help multiple times, but did not out of concern for his safety, and not because he did not trust him. Beam leaves to carry out his plan, leaving Rama despairing that his best friend is the one he was looking for all this time. At the governor's residence, a grand function is in full swing as the entire property is dressed up like a bride. Outside, Beam's associates observe the entrance, and taking their chance, drive a huge truck headlong into the gates and onto the lawns. The tarp is removed, revealing the numerous wild animals Beam has obtained from the jungles. The animals are let loose, with Beam among them, and chaos ensues. The animals attack the people, and Beam, avoiding the animals, navigates the lawns looking for Molly. The girl has been dragged inside the house, and Beam goes after her. The door is locked by an officer, and Beam fights him for the key. He succeeds, but Rama arrives in a flaming carriage. Beam is stunned to see his friend in a police uniform and heartbroken when Rama tries to arrest him. He tries to talk to Rama, but Rama has steeled himself, and an elaborate fight breaks out, It ends when Mali is held at gunpoint and Bhim has no choice but to surrender, while his men manage to run away. The scene shifts and we see that Rama has been promoted, which gives him access to the armory, which was his ultimate goal. We then jump into a flashback, which shows us Rama's father serving in the Imperial Police. Governor Scott was his commander and unfairly kills an Indian man, using the same line he used about a bullet being too precious to be wasted on peasant stock. Fed up with all the injustices the British carry out, Raju resigns. He goes back home to gather a retaliation force, and they train without weapons, practicing drills and formations with wooden rifles. Raju has his brother-in-law join the police force so that they can have access to their information. One day, Raju discovers that his son, Rama, is an excellent shot, but that is the day they are attacked by the armed British. Rama's entire family is killed, and his father sacrifices himself. Rama has been working for the last 15 years to come through on the promise he made to his father, to arm everyone in this country so they can fight against their oppressors. He'd hoped to get a promotion in order to access the weapons, and now he has it. He writes a letter to Sita, telling her that he is close to his goal, but his heart feels heavy with how much he has hurt those he is fighting for. He is then tasked by Buxton to flog Bhim publicly. Rama attempts to persuade Bhim into recanting his actions, but Bhim chooses to be flogged instead. Rama has been instructed to flog the criminal until he kneels, but Bhim is too strong and determined to do so. The governor's vicious wife throws Rama a whip that has nails in it so that Bhim can bleed more. Bhim still refuses to kneel and gains motivation to sing. His strength and act of standing up, quite literally in the face of British cruelty, end up encouraging the gathered crowd. On top of that, Bhim's song is the spark that lights the fire and a riot breaks out. Bhim is thrown back into jail, while Rama feels guilt for what he was made to do. His uncle arrives to tell him that he has been made in charge of a weapons consignment, the moment Rama had been working for all these years. But Rama decides that he cannot sacrifice Bhim for this, and is willing to work hard for 15 more years if he has to. He plans on getting Mali and returning her. Determined to save his friend, he persuades Scott to secretly execute Bhim whilst preparing an ambush to save him. But unfortunately, Scott deduces his plot. While managing to rescue Mali from Scott's men, Rama is grievously injured. Bhim, who had simultaneously managed to free himself, mistakenly interprets Rama's actions as an attempt to kill Mali. He bludgeons him before escaping with her. Months later, Bhim, who has escaped with Mali to Hathras, is cornered by the colonial authorities. He narrowly avoids being exposed when Sita, Raju's fiancée, repels them by claiming a smallpox epidemic as a pretext. Unaware of Bhim's identity, she reveals Raju's actual anti-colonial objectives and of his impending execution. Crestfallen upon realizing his own folly, Bhim vows to save him. With the assistance of a sympathetic Jenny, Bhim infiltrates the barracks where Raju is detained and frees him, alerting multiple soldiers in the process. Defeating them, the pair retreat to a nearby forest, where they decimate more soldiers with the use of a longbow taken from a ram shrine. Taking the fight to Scott, the pair hurl a flaming motorcycle into the barracks magazines, which consequently ignites. The subsequent explosion kills many within Scott's company, including Catherine. Having finally cornered a wounded Scott, Rama has Bhim execute him with an English rifle, fulfilling their respective objectives. He uses Scott's line about a bullet's value that we've been hearing and brings it to full value by having Bhim return it to Scott, embedded deep in his heart. They subsequently steal a cache of Scott's weaponry, later reuniting with Sita and Jenny. In honor of completing their respective missions, Rama asks Bhim to let him grant a wish for him, to which Bhim asks Rama to teach him to read and write. This is where the movie comes to an end. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.